Okay, so we are live now. Let's get going, guys. Let's get going. So, by the end of this training, some of you will work as a product owner. Some of you already know what the role or the functional area of a product owner. Some of you also don't know. We will get through some of these things sometime very soon. So product owner, some of you also, get into IT business analysts, right? You guys will become business analysts. We'll get into what entails becoming IT business analysts. There are so many roles that you guys will be able to fit in. You guys will be a great match because of the skill set that you've acquired. But essentially, I just wanted to list a handful over here. So project manager, yes, some of you by the end of this training, you guys will be getting into project management. We will cover some few topics in here. Essentially, by the time we are done, you should be able to take care of projects as well. Some of you will also be getting into product management as well. So essentially from here, and even before the training comes to an end, a handful of you will be product managers as well. That means you'll be able to start from ground zero, be able to articulate and be able to build product from the thoughts of your stakeholders, your managers, crazy ideas, enhancement, whatever features, that product features that they may have. You should be able to take it out from there and then build cutting edge and cool solutions for them, and then help your organizations also deploy as well. So this training is covers a whole lot of things, right? So we will get into different modules. Some of the modules might be product owners, some of the modules might be business analysts, some product management and project management, and all. It's all in the mix, right? Essentially, by the time we are done, you guys are fully equipped, fully resourced to take on any challenge that is out there. Before we get started, let me also take some time to go through this couple of housekeeping notes. I know I put it out there, but let me rehash on this housekeeping note so that you guys know that it's important to me, right? It's very, very, very important to me here. So housekeeping note, couple of housekeeping note. Number one, this group is for the training alone, right? I know some of us, we are motivational speakers. We are good in encouraging others. It's all good. I don't have any problem with that, right? I don't have any problem with that, to encourage people and to advise people and so on and so forth. But for this WhatsApp group, I want us to treat it very special. We will only post information that relates to this training only, right? This is not going to be a group for sharing what you dreamt about at night and what you want to share to encourage somebody, right? This group is also not for personal photos and random stuff that somebody may have shared to you on WhatsApp or any other social parlors or avenues, whatever that you may have received from somebody. Now, this is not the place to share that type of information as well. Sessions always start at 7 p.m. Eastern time, my time here in Atlanta, Georgia. So 7 p.m. my time, 11 p.m. Ghana time or GMT. So take note of that. If you are 10 minutes behind, that means you're late, right? Meetings are always, we're gonna be on it, basically, right? We're gonna be on it. If it is 7 p.m., 7 p.m. If it's 11 p.m. GMT, 11 p.m., right? So take note of that. And if you cannot make it, all that you got to do is to what? Send us something in advance, right? Let me know in advance. Put a note there in advance that, hey guys, I'm running late, right? Yeah, we want to be able to build a close-knit community here where we are looking over the shoulders of each other. We're taking care of each other here, so that is also something very important to take note. So 10 minutes, let us know. If you're running late, something's going to happen. Something happened to you. You were hit by a car. You were hit by a motorcycle. Whatever happened to you. Let us know that, hey guys, I can't make it. I'm in coma. I'm in hospital. I'm not going to be on. Let us know in advance, right? Number 4, no call, no show. All right. So my last batch, a couple of things have been same thing, and I'm going to keep reiterating the same point. I'm going to re-echo the same thing, the same information here. No call, no show. So if you don't show up for 3 days, that's it. You're axed out. So I'm going to remove you from the group. That means you are out, right? And again, this training is not for everybody, right? This training is not going to be for everybody. Not everybody, people have different purpose and there's different intentions God has created everybody for. We all have our own priorities in life. So this training might not be necessary for everybody. So, if you miss today, you miss tomorrow, you miss Wednesday, that's it, right? No questions asked. We don't need to endure any unnecessary analysis and get into any analytics and other things like, this happened to me. This is the reason why I didn't show up. No. We don't have to endure all this analysis, right? It's not important to anybody. And it will not serve anybody any good, right? So it's important that, you let us know. If you're going to be absent, it is very important that, you let me know in advance that, hey, for this X, Y, Z reason, I'm not going to be on it. I'm not going to be on the platform this day because of this program I have coming up. It is fair. It is nice, that, we all keep each other in the loop, right? Very important. So 3 times, if you don't show up, that's it. No questions asked. Again, this is not for everybody, right? You may have something else that's more important to you, and that's okay. That's fair. If you have questions, so if you have any question, there's something on your mind, you want to clarify, there are things that, is going to be okay for the community, right? You can put it in the group chat. You can put a message out there. Everybody's going to benefit from it. If it's something that, you need direct clarification from me, do not hesitate to ping me on WhatsApp, send me a direct message and say, hey, can you explain this? You said this out there. Can you explain this? And keep in mind, I'm going to respond. I may not get to it like ASAP. I'll get to it as soon as I'm able to. So keep that in mind as well, that, hey, if you have something boggling your mind, something that, you have some doubt about any issue, doubt about any module, topic that we might treat, anything that you need clarification on, I am always accessible, always available to clarify, but it might not be immediate. So if you ping me and I've not responded, it doesn't mean I've ignored, your message or something, but I'll get to it, right? It's I'm answering it in the order that it was received, right? So that is very, very important as well. Q&A sessions, right? So in these sessions and this training, we want to be able to interact and, get to know each other, answer questions, get, if there's something on your mind, get it out, and so on and so forth. It's very important that we do that. So at the end of every session, the last 10 minutes, usually, sometimes we go to the, to the top of the wire, right? But I'm going to, this time or this batch especially, I'm going to ensure that, at least I leave out 10 minutes or 5 minutes, top to the hour to answer some questions before we end on the dot. And guys, for me, when I say 20 is 1 hour, it's 1 hour. We're not going to exceed that. So keep that in mind. If I think, if it happens that, your question, we're going to need more time to clarify, we'll have to push it to the next day to be able to do that. So you need to write it down so that we don't forget, right? So we can keep track of all unanswered questions. Very, very important that you do that. Number 7, lastly, be creative, be tolerant, be respectful of others' opinion. So again, it's not everybody that is on this call that is coming from an engineering background, right? We all didn't go to school we all didn't go to college for computer science, computer engineering and whatnot. We may be coming from different backgrounds, right? Some of us are coming from administration, coming from marketing, coming from sales, accounting, different background, diverse background here, right? So it's very important that when somebody asks a question, you might know it. It might sound basic, fundamental, or foundational to you. However that it might sound to you, it is okay, right? Be tolerant. That's what I want to say. The message here is what? Be tolerant. We want to be able to take care of everybody. It doesn't matter your level or whatever. You already know it is great. Keep your head up. It's all right, for you to be advanced, for you to have an engineering background and whatnot. But here, we're starting from the basics. We're going to build everybody up. We are building our own selves up, right? So keep that also in mind. And then lastly, so the last thing is that if you're coming into the session, it's very important that whatever name that you're using is a name that I'm familiar with, right? So if you're coming in with a nickname or something today, I'm just going to let it slide, right? Today, I'm just going to let it slide. I've admitted a couple of people that were coming with names that unfamiliar, very strange and peculiar, peculiar names. But it's okay. I'm gonna let it slide today. But from tomorrow going, I will only admit names that I am familiar with. Very important. So guys, keep in mind that you guys do that for me. If I don't know the name, if you come in with a crazy name, lizard, whatever, that I don't recognize, I'm sorry, I cannot admit you into this meeting. So keep in mind that when you're signing in, you use a name that is recognized by myself and by everybody as well, right? All right. So I think with that said, that's it. So again, welcome guys, welcome everybody. This is day one, right? Day one of our training sessions. We're going to cover a lot of things. It's going to be 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. 8 weeks is like maximum. We might be done, depending on how fast, how slow, intermediate, whatever the speed of the speed we're going to run. So it's going to depend, right? But maximum, give or take, maximum 8 weeks, we should be done. And again, just like I told some of you will start working even by the 6th week or by the 5th week. I promise you, it's going to happen, right? It has happened in previous batch where we did not even finish the training, and then I didn't have a choice than to put people on projects. So keep that in mind. And of course, if I'm looking for somebody to put on any kind of gig, any kind of job, I'm looking at the quality of your work. So people that turn in great hands-on project that we're going to be working on. I'm looking for excellence. I'm looking for people who are learning, who are diligently working on assignments. These are the people that I'm going to be working with first. And it is my own thing, and I think I'm fair, right? So I look at the quality of your work, and I know this guy is serious. And so when we're in the 4th week, 5th week, something comes up, I'm placing that person, that individual on the job first, right? Because he is diligent with his work. All right. So day one thing. So okay. All right. So let's talk about. So who is a product owner? Who is a business analyst? A project manager and a product manager? What at all in the world do they do? And then here, guys, this is going to be the roadmap. So a couple of things. This is not an exhaustive list, right? So keep in mind we're going to be talking about introduction, talking about stakeholders, need analysis, software development life cycles, requirement life cycles, general SDLC plus waterfall model. We're talking about Agile. Agile is going to be a big one for us because most organizations here, essentially in the continental US, they are all like Agile, right? Most development environment, most organization, most products that are out there, the development framework that is currently being used is all Agile. So we're going to be huge. We're going to be big. The tools that we're going to use are more skewed to Agile framework. So keep that in mind. We're going to have a couple of case studies here. So, within our software requirement analysis piece, requirement analysis and transformation techniques, what is functional requirement, specification types and examples, functional requirement versus non-functional requirement. So keep that in mind. We'll cover that. Requirement presenting, yep. Change control and change management, we'll do that. BRS versus SRS, overview of testing. We're going to do some quality assurance bit too. Basis of manual testing, defect life cycle, UAT or user acceptance testing, very important, very critical. We'll take a look at that. Impact analysis in software testing, business analysis process, entity relationship diagram, decision tables, visual tutorial and process flow diagrams, very important. You got to be able to, guys, this is also very important piece that we will take a look at. When you're building solutions and you're engaging with stakeholders over here, you got to be able to articulate the roadmap or how data flows in from one endpoint to the other within any solution. So it's very important that you got to be able to use process flow models and process flow diagrams as supporting models for any business requirement documentation that we're going to be working on. So critical, essential, keep that in mind, guys. Software configuration management tools, we're going to look at that. Structured walkthrough, UI, UX, product analytics, project management, and so on. So many topics that we're going to be covered in this 6 to 8 weeks. So buckle up, fasten your seatbelt. We're going to run, right? We're going to run. So, essentially, when we're done with this space, we might get into other areas. And essentially, I just want to equip you, hey, wherever that you might find yourself, you should know a couple of things. So if you look at the first block on my left, data management and analytics. So there are several roles that, if time permits, we can cover a couple of things in there. BI, that is business intelligence analyst, BI architect and developer, data engineer, data scientist, data architect. We have cyber security, cyber information security engineer, security specialist. We have IT infrastructure, network engineer, architect, network system admin, system analyst, social media manager, and so on and so forth. So software application development, machine learning, designer, developer, engineer, mobile app developer, software developer, engineer, UI, UX engineer, all falls into that category, right? And then we have digital transformation. So change management, IoT, Internet of Things, design engineer, transformation, and consultant. So we're going to cover a whole lot of things. So wherever you are, you should have some knowledge, if not basic knowledge about some of these areas, right? Very important. So who's a business analyst, right? Day one. This is day one stuff. This is pretty much day one, right? Who's a business analysis? Who is this person? When we say IT business analyst, we say IT product owner, a product manager, a project manager, and whatnot. What do they do? So primarily, the primary job of or responsibility of business analyst is to communicate with all stakeholders, right? Guys, one thing that I forget about the housekeeping stuff, right? Housekeeping stuff is that get a pen and a paper. Get a pen and a paper, and then make sure that you have something written down, because we're going around with speed. I'm not going to be coming back. I'm not going to be doing some of these things, but I expect that you're taking notes, you're doing something, right? So the business analyst's responsibility is to be able to communicate with all stakeholders, right, of the organization. So all stakeholders of the organization, and to do what? To elicit, right? To elicit, analyze, and validate requirements for changes to business processes, information, systems, and policies. So whether you have an IT background or not, this is very, very basic. What we're saying is that when we take the role, the individual that we are giving this person the hat to wear as an IT business analyst, right? His job, his primary, responsibility or duty is to be able to do what? Communicate with stakeholders, right? So I can see that, we have, let me see the audience here. So Chris is on, Ben or Hini Ado is on. So let me say Chris and Ben, they are my stakeholders, right? So Chris and Ben, there are different types of stakeholders, and we will get to it. But for now, let's say stakeholders, right? General stakeholders. So Chris and Ben, they are my stakeholders. And Chris will usually, they are the owners of the business, the owners of the application. They are asking us to build something for them, right? My job as an IT business analyst is to be able to talk to Chris and say, hey, Chris, what are you guys thinking? I talk to Chris, I talk to Ben, and say, hey, guys, what are you guys thinking? You know what? We have a pizza shop, right? We want the ability to build a platform where, our customers, they can get on the pizza platform or the website, and then they can see the different kind of pizzas that we have, the different flavors, combinations they can have. They can order for these pizzas, they can buy a drink, they can buy some other type of stuff, cool stuff as well. And then, we can essentially deliver it to them. So Chris and Ben, they are our stakeholders. They are telling us, or they will be sort of giving us the requirement on what we need to build, right? So the job of the business analyst is to be able to talk to Chris and talk to Ben and say, hey guys, what do you guys want? And then Chris and Ben, they will start, okay, we want A, we want B, we also want to see C on our website, we want to see D, we want E, D, F, G, whatever on our platform, right? So the business analyst, I'm going to be talking to them, I'm going to be eliciting. So that's what we call the elicitation process. We have a couple of techniques that we use in what? Elicitation. Very important, right? We use different techniques in doing elicitation. We have something we call interviews. We have the chat sessions. We have, Q&A, surveys. We have different elicitation models and then techniques that we use in talking to the stakeholder to try and understand what at all is running through their mind. What do they want to build, right? What do they want to have out there as products, right? So in talking to Chris, talking to Ben, they will let me know that, hey, this is what we want. Now, Chris and Ben, they may have some cool ideas, right? There's a couple of things running through their minds that they want to build. But these ideas that they want to build, we need to be able to translate them. We need to be able to put these ideas together in a format that, you know, development team or developers can comprehend, and hopefully they can build, right? They can develop the applications, right? It is not just you just come in and then you just say, oh, I just want a website. I want a website where, you know, people can order for pizza and they can pay. No, we need to sit down with you and say, okay, you want a website. That's great. What do you want people to see on your website, right? You want to have, how many header menus do you want to have? The home, food, ordering, whatever. You know, you want to have some header menu. What kind of, you know, footer menu do you want to see? What kind of payment gateway do you want to accept? Do you want to accept mobile money as a method of payment? Do you want to accept Visa, MasterCard as another preferred method of payment? Do you want to accept PayPal, Cash App? You know, there's going to be several preferred method of payment, right? We need to talk to you and we need to get all these things out. And then what do you want to see? Like when people come on the page, you know, what do you want them to see at a glance? Do you want them to see your pizzas, maybe 5 different pizzas, you know, display? Do you want them to see 10 different flavors of pizzas display or 20 different flavors of pizza, right? So it is very important that we get into the nitty-gritties, right? Exactly what you want, the color scheme, what is your business logo? We need to know all these things. Where do you want to place it? Where do you want this functionality to be at, right? When people add, you know, how many orders can people buy at a time, or can people get out of your platform at a time? Maybe, you know, you're a small business owner. You cannot take more than maybe 20 orders at a time, or maybe 30 orders at a time. We need to know all these dynamics, right? So essentially, we need to be able to put all of this requirement in a format, in a way that development team, that is the only way, or that's the only format they can understand. And hopefully, when we do that, they can now build, they can now test it, and hopefully we can deploy. Deployment means we go live. Anytime you hear me say the word we're going live, that means we're launching the platform. We need to launch it, right? When we build a solution, what do? We are not building it for ourselves. We are building it for our stakeholders, whether internal client or external client. We are building for stakeholders. So we need to launch it so they can use it, right? So we need to go live. So keep that in mind. You might hear the word live, go live, go live. Anytime you hear the keyword, we need to go live, that means we are launching a platform, right? So the work of the business analyst, again, guys, is to communicate with all stakeholders that are involved, to elicit from them, hey guys, what do you guys want? To analyze, to validate the requirement for changes to business processes, information system, and policies, right? So also, guys, keep in mind, it is not always and not all the time that we're going to be building something from the scratch, from the ground up, right? Not all solutions will be from the ground up. We may already have existing platform, but we just want enhancements, right? We just want some few changes to it, right? So when that happens, what is going to be approach? We'll talk about all these things, right? So it is not all new platform. There are some platform that already existing. When you take a look at, you know, Bank of America website, you take a look at, you know, Wells Fargo website, you know, SunTrust, you know, these are already existing banks, you know, Morgan Chase, you know, these are already big banks that have existed for more than 100 years, 150 years. It is not today that they've just started work, they started business, right? But as we go on, they want to add new changes. They want to, sort of modernize their legacy systems and their legacy platforms. So there's a lot of legacy modernization going on. They want to be able to catch up with emerging technologies. So we're going to be adding new features. Keep in mind, guys, keep this in mind. So a professional business analyst plays a big role in moving an organization towards efficiency, productivity, and profitability. Now, anytime you're working for any organization, you need to keep this in mind. How do I make this organization and our processes here efficient? How do I make this organization and our processes here productive? The resources here, the team members, how do I make them productive? And of course, all this productivity and efficiency, it should land us somewhere. We need to be able to create value, and that is profitability, right? We need to be able to bring profit to the organization. We need to understand what the business does and how it does it, right? Very important. So you walk into an organization, you got to be able to do what we call reverse engineering. You know, it's like you take things apart and you begin to put them together. So we got to be able to know how we move from point A to point B, and then from point B to point A, right? What is the business into? How do they do business? Who are the stakeholders? Who are the customers? We need to be able to understand all these things out there, right? So that's the role of the business analyst. Determine how to improve existing business process. So the work of the business analyst or the IT business analyst, you get into any space, your duty or your responsibility here is to be able to what? Re-architect processes, right? You got to be able to look at the already existing process, and you got to be able to say, no, I think we can do a better job with this process over here. So you have a duty to look at an already existing, process and be able to re-architect this same process and make it better, right? Right. So you got to be able to look at it and then, make it better for internal end client users and external end client users as well. And then you got to be able to identify the steps, the tasks to support the implementation of new features, right? So we want to add new cool features to our platform. How do we do it? Where do we start from? And where do we end it, right? Design new features to implement, analyze the impact of implementation of new features, and then the implementation of the new features itself. So the work of the business analyst is very, very important. Very, 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 very important. The work of the IT business analyst, very, very important. So we will get into it some more. Now, moving on, let's get into product owner. Who's the product owner? And again, business analyst, system analyst is here, and then the PM, the project manager is also here. So the work of the product owner, it is somewhat, very close to the work of the business analyst, but there's a difference, right? There's a thin line between the product owner. Some of you will be wearing that hat. You're going to be product owners at different enterprises or different environment organizations. You're going to be product owner. And some of you are going to be business system analysts or BSA. Some of you are going to be project managers and product managers as well. But what are the responsibilities here? So as a product owner, you work with stakeholders, again with leadership and other stakeholders, to determine product design and roadmap and define minimal viable product, right? And product increments for delivery. So what does this mean? So as a product owner, here's what's going on. You will have your managers, people that you report to, but essentially your responsibility is that you are the gatekeeper for product feature sets that you guys want to build, right? Very, very important. You're the gatekeeper. So you have a duty to align the team and ensure that if the team is taking a detour or a departure from, the overall vision and the roadmap of the product feature set, you need to be able to align them back. You need to bring them back or sync them and say, hey, guys, you guys are taking a departure, right? This is not the way that we had intended to build this solution, right? So you have the ability to determine the product design and roadmap, number one. Define the minimum viable product. So what is a minimum viable product? So if you take a look at any platform, and we'll take a look at some of this platform very soon. And as a matter of fact, let me see if I can go over here. All right. So let's look at Bank of America website, for instance, right? As you guys can see over here, there's so many things moving on here. There's a login form. There is a header menu called checking, savings, credit cards, home loans, auto loans, investment, better habits. So there's so many things over here. You guys can see. We have information for personal banking, small business banking, wealth management, businesses and institutions, security, about us. So many things out here. Now, if you take a look at these features that we have on this screen, as you guys are looking at it, we cannot build all of these features and the things. So mind you, when you click on checking savings, there's going to be a drop down functionality that will also drop down a whole set of features again, right? We cannot build all this product feature set at one time. But what do? We take some of these features and then we call some of these features as our MVP. That is our minimum viable product. What that means is that, hey guys, we have a grand idea. We have a great, we want to build some cool features and whatnot. We have all these great thoughts, we want to build all these great features. But hey, we cannot build all of these things within a month, within a year. We need to be able to prioritize, right? Essentially, we got to be able to prioritize and say, oh, all of these features we want to build, We cannot build all of these features within a month or within a year, but let us just concentrate on one thing, finish up with it, and then we might call the other features maybe a day 2 items, right? Or day 3, right? So maybe as we usually call it phase 1 or phase 2, right? So let's say phase 1. So phase 1 is what we are calling as what? MVP, minimum viable product. So when you're a product owner, you got to be able to listen to the stakeholders. You got to be able to say, all these things that you guys are saying, it's nice, it's cool, but we are not going to be able to build all these features for you this time. But let us prioritize on these feature sets and let's build these feature sets. That's what we call minimum viable product. So as a product owner, you're going to have this responsibility. You're going to have this task, this job, right? To be able to define what is going to be my minimum viable product, right? So you are big post, you are a big man here. you will decide what goes in and what should wait or what we should defer, right? There's so many things on the product backlog. You got to be able to say, hey guys, let's defer this set of features and build this out. So you have a duty. You're a big man, right? You're a big man. You decide what goes in and what should wait. Okay. And then you also manage the product backlog by creating ideas, story mapping, designing prototypes, breaking down features into user stories and refining them with a team. So as you write these stories, and we'll be talking about user stories very soon when we get into Agile. We'll get into a whole lot of exciting stuff when we get into Agile. But as you define this minimum viable product, right, you got to be able to put this requirements and the wish list of all these stakeholders, crazy thoughts that they may have. You put them into story mapping, and then you begin to align them to prototypes. You break down these features and then refine them with the team. Is this even feasible? So there are times that you will take these features to your core development team, and then you guys will essentially establish if these feature sets that are coming up in the pipeline, will your current state of architecture and will your current state of infrastructure, will they be able to support these product features that are coming up, right? You guys have to be able to discuss this and know, are we going to be able to do this or not, right? Very, very important. So you prioritize with the team, and then you guys will, ensure, put them in some priority order. This is going to be sprint 1, sprint 2, and that type of thing with all these product feature sets. You also have a duty to clarify problems that need solving. So you test hypotheses and assumptions, and then conduct interviews, review research, and then incorporate feedbacks and results into your journey design and measurement. So there's a very important key information here. Communicate the journey performance, update plans and successes with business leaders and other teams. So as you guys build, as you guys develop, as you guys test, and you guys deploy some of these cool cutting-edge solutions, you have to communicate to stakeholders higher up or in the organization, VPs, vice presidents of, maybe your CTO, chief technology officer, CIO, chief information officer, senior vice president of enterprise applications and whatnot. There are people higher up on the rank that you got to keep them informed of, whatever you guys are working on, right? And you have that responsibility. So the role of the product owner, very important, business system analyst, very important, and the project manager, very important role. Essentially, when you look at the project manager, for instance, you have a duty, right? You have a duty to be able to coordinate the team's work, the team's effort, ensure that you guys are on track. You guys are not behind on your schedule. You guys will be able to deliver or have your deliverables ready at the set time of deadlines. You coordinate the effort. If the team members on daily basis, you touch base with them. If they have issues, you are escalating these issues or problems. And of course, you're getting these issues resolved. So it's an exciting roles, right? All these roles that we're talking about, you guys are going to have fun filling in some of these roles. And you guys will be able to deploy some of the best solutions and technologies that are out there. Very important. So we'll talk about the product owner and then the project manager. We'll talk about some of these things. So you guys should take note of this. If not, go back to the YouTube video. When it's done, I will share the link with you guys. You can watch it again, take your time, read through all this information here, and then capture whatever you want to capture. So very important here. All right. You can become a product manager. When you are like a product manager, essentially these 5 core things are Very important to, any product manager, an IT product manager, right? Number one, business strategy. You got to be able to take up those ideas. You got to be able to build a business strategy around this. You need to be able to work on P&L, profit and loss statements around this product. You're not just building product. You got to be able to, ensure that there is, profitability for the organization that you work for, right? Business strategy. So you work on that. UI UX design. You have to build product that are competitive enough, right, on the market. So when we take a look at your product, how we log in, how we assess product, how we add items to our cart, how we complete the the checkout process, all these things count. And you need to work with UI UX engineers. They build great user experience, user journeys, onboarding process, enrollment process, customer communication with the company. You build all these things and you make sure that the designs are good and they are competitive enough, right? Number three, if you happen to be in the role of a product manager, you got to be able to work with development team as well. So product. For me, I think product is number one. Product development is number one. That is why Elon Musk is one of the greatest, inventors around, today, or inventors, businessmen around, because he concentrates or he gives much attention to what product development. You can have a very great design and all this, but if your product is not developed very well, you will not last. So it's very important. So product development, you work with development team, make sure that it's being developed right, it's being tested right, and it is fit for the purpose, it's fit for whatever the market demands, right? Very important. Product analytics. So product analytics is very important as well as a product manager. Again, you are not building solutions for yourself. You want to be able to build products that are competitive enough. So how are you going to be able to measure the success of this product that are out on the market? Is by product analytics, right? So how many people are using your product? You got to be able to build tags into your product where you'll be able to see where the traffic is coming from. What kind of devices are these people logging in to your product, right? So you'll be able to know, a lot of your customers, they are all using Android, right? They're using Android to access your website. They're using Android to access your mobile app. Most of your customers, they are all on Android devices. Maybe 30% of your customers are on iOS. You got to be able to have all this, analytics, right? Which part of the world are they coming from? You see a lot of traffic in Africa, a lot of traffic maybe from the Pacific Asias, or maybe a lot of traffic from Europe, or a lot of traffic from North America, and so on and so forth. You got to be able to have the product analytics as well, right? So the device that you're using, and then even the age, demography. You got to be able to look into the age as well. Are your product being assessed by ages between 25 to 35 people, or ages between 50 and above, or between 30 to 45? You got to be able to know the age, dynamics as well. So all these things are product analytics. So when you know all of these things, this is very important. Back in the days where people build solutions and build product based on emotions and all of that, but they're not data driven. We want to be able to make decisions based on data. We want to be able to, take on business strategies and based on the data that we have from our customers, right? The future enhancement and then the future product that we want to build, it has to be data driven. And so if we are building something for the youth, building for something for the mid-age people or the middle class, whatever. So you got to be able to know who you're building for. And this product analytics, of course, very, very important here, right? Very, very important. I hope you guys are with me so far. All right. And then market competitive landscape. So every product that you're building, you got to know who you're competing with, right? You got to know who you're competing with. You cannot build a product and you're not looking at, who is my competitor here? Right. You might, there are times that, if you think, you have a cool niche, nobody's doing what you're doing, you might have that kind of, failed day because you're the only person doing it or the only organization doing it. There's no competitor, right? So as a product manager, you got to be able to know the competitive landscape. Who are we competing with? If you are into the space of embedded finance, You know, you got to know, for instance, if you're here in America, you're into the space of, you know, embedded finance or embedded lending, you know, type of product in the fintech space. You got to know that Afterpay, Sezzle, Klarna, all these products out there, they are your competitors. They are people that you guys are sharing the cake, right? You guys are sharing this cake with, right? For people that can lend to people. You got to know about your competitors, people that, you know, you're working with. So product manager, very, very important. This business strategy, UI, UX design, product development, product analytics, market competitive landscape. These 5 pillars, essentially, that's the ecosystem you need to dwell in, and you'll be a great product manager. But as we move on these training sessions, you know, we'll cover different topics within these pillars, and you'll be well resourced and well equipped enough to take on any task if it's assigned to you, right? All right. Now, keep in mind, we're still in day 1, right? Is there a lot of information yet? This is still day 1. This is still day 1, guys. This is still day 1. So get excited. You know, can I see a yes, yes, yes in the chat comment session? Let me see a yes, yes, yes. Let me know you're still with me so far. I didn't lose you. All right. Robert says yes. Ben says yes. Let me see a yes. Everybody, come on, put it in. Let me see a yes so that I know you're still with me. You didn't fall asleep. You're not sleeping. All right. You guys are with me. That's cool. All right. Reagan says yes. Francie yes. Okay. All right. You guys are with me so far. That's cool. So this is still day 1. All right. So when you take a look at this, all these platforms. Now I'm going to talk about these platforms, and essentially we'll be coming to an end of our day 1, and then tomorrow is going to be action. We get into, you know, our meat and potato. We get into the meat, the substance, you know, cool stuff. All right. So if we take a look at all these platforms, right? Take a look at all these platforms like Bank of America website. Okay. Emmanuel is saying yes, going great, going well. All right. Let's get into it. So if you take a look at this platform like Bank of America website, right? Cool stuff out here. I have an account with Bank of America. I know a lot of you might also have an account with Bank of America, or maybe Chase Bank or whatever. Or for my folks that are joining from Ghana, Stanbic Bank. If you go to their website, whatnot, you see great features out there, right? But all of these feature sets did not happen overnight, right? Keep in mind, all these feature sets, they didn't build all these great, you know, looking platform overnight. It was done, or all these features were committed incrementally, right? Keep in mind, all these features were what? Committed incrementally. They took time, day 1, day 2, day 3, phase 1, phase 2, and then we see all these great features that we see. And essentially, every product that, you know, we see out there, it starts with you. If you're a product owner, you start a business analyst, a product manager, you are a BSA. All these feature sets, it starts with you, right? There's no way that Bank of America is going to build this, you know, great platform as you guys can see without a business analyst, without a product owner. So the topic that we're going to be treating is very critical, very important to you, right? It should be very important to you. If you take a look at, you know, let's go to the next one. Amazon. We all know Amazon. We love cool, you know, deals that Amazon they have for they offer to customers, right? From dresses, from different categories of, you know, products that are out here. If you look at, you know, at the very top, holiday deals, gift cards, bestsellers, Prime, Amazon Prime, customer service, find a gift, new releases. There's so many things. When you click on all these menus out here, you'll be redirected to a different page. And there are so many other cool features as well on this page that you're going to be redirected to, right? So how did they build it? They started with the work of a PO, a product owner, a business analyst, right? It started with us, right? There's no way they could have gotten this product out there without us engineers, right? We are part of the core engineering team or the development team. It started with us. So we'll build great product. And by the time this training is over, I'm going to give you guys projects. You guys will work on a retail domain, and healthcare domain, the automotive domain, finance and banking. We'll do a couple of projects. We will essentially build a product like this. By the time we are done, within the space that we have, 6 to 8 weeks, we'll build about 5-6 projects in different domains, not just one domain. We'll build different solutions in a couple of domains: healthcare, retail, banking and finance and whatnot. We will build different products. So keep in mind, we'll be running. If you take a look at Wells Fargo, Wells Fargo Bank, great, platform that they have as well. Solid platform. If you're a Wells Fargo customer, you log in, you have so many things that, you can get your hands on, from investment to your retirement, wealth management, rewards and benefit, financial education, ATM locations, so many features. So for instance, if you click on these ATM locations, when you click on it and you enter your zip code, for instance, I'm over here in ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. So when I enter my zip code, it will let me know all the ATMs that are close by my location or that are close to me, right? With the closest one first. All these features, we will be building something close to that, right? It starts with us. We'll be writing requirements about how this ATM locations features should be built, right? We'll be writing requirements about how a banking and credit card feature on the platform should be built. We'll be writing a requirement on how loans and credit card applications should be built. We're going to be looking at all these features, all these cool, exciting features you see out here. We'll be doing something similar, right? We're going to be doing something very similar. And let's look at maybe lastly, eBay. So eBay is out here. Same stuff, all of these things, it didn't happen overnight. All these features were added, were committed incrementally, right? So from motor, fashion, electronics, collectibles, home and garden, sports goods, toys, business, industrial, music deals, all of these feature set that you see out here, they were all added on incrementally. It didn't happen overnight. So that's how we're also going to go. We're going to be taking baby steps in building great product retail domain platforms in our assignment, in our project. The same thing. As we were talking about the role of the business analyst, how you elicit requirement, I'm going to be your stakeholder. In some of the projects that you guys are working on, I'm going to be your stakeholder and I'm going to give you requirements, right? I'm going to tell you guys, hey, I'm going to need this feature out here. I'll need this feature over there. So you guys will gather all this requirement, put them in the right format, and that's it. We will start building, right? That is what is going to happen in these training sessions. So very important. State Farm Insurance, right? Same thing. If you want insurance for your car, want insurance for your home, want insurance for your boat or something, any property or asset you may have, you get on here, all these features set. If you want claims, somebody told me that now the claims are something American actually that Ghana their claims very baby out. I say paperwork about what you know. We really be 1 year now you really but claims will be building great solid product out here that essentially people can file a claim so easily on the platform, right? We're going to build an insurance platform here that we can all enjoy. We'll all be happy about that. We've built a great insurance platform. All right, Blue Cross Blue Shield. So healthcare insurance, like I said, we're going to be looking at a couple of domains, not just financing and banking domain. We're going to be looking at a couple of domains for different projects that we're going to be looking at. So if you want a health insurance, like Blue Cross Blue Shield, they can offer you insurance. We'll look at all these features set, how to find a doctor, how individuals and families insurance plays. We're looking at all these type of things as well. I know our time is running. So in all, as I wrap up for today, day one, the domains that we're going to be looking at, we might look into finance and banking. We'll look at insurance. We'll look at agriculture. We're looking at e-commerce, looking at healthcare. We're looking at federal government. I've worked for CDC before, so I know, how federal stuff works because I consulted for, CDC, Center for Disease Control. I built about 5 applications for them. So we'll talk about some of these things. Automobile is very interesting as well. I've worked for automobile industry. I work for Nissan Motor Corporation. I work for Vehicle Connected Services. We build some cool telematics features into vehicles that excite our customers. So I've got some things I can share in automobile industry as well because I work for Nissan. And then consulting, sports and recreation, travel and tourism, real estate, etc. Guys, you guys should be happy. We're going to be building cool, exciting, cutting-edge solutions by the time we get to our 6th, 7th, 8th week of this training sessions. Now, I'm going to open the floor. We have about 6 minutes, right? 6 minutes to end this session. So you guys can unmute yourself. If you have any question, you can unmute yourself in this 5 minutes that we have. Whatever question you have, you can address it. If not, then that is the end of day one, right? tomorrow we're gonna start doing some amazing stuff. We're gonna start doing some great stuff, right? So you can unmute yourself. Or you can put your question in the chat box. If you have a question, you can put a chat box, and we're gonna start taking the questions. I'm gonna start taking them in the order that I see it over here in the chat box, and then I promise you guys, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be speed, but it's going to be exciting, right? Because we have only 6 weeks, right? We have only 6 weeks, but it's going to be speed. It's going to be a lot of speed. It's going to be exciting as well. A lot of projects, going to be a lot of hands-on, and we're going to just, all right. So any question, anything else? No, I don't see anything in the chat box. I only see a comment from Emmanuel. So Emmanuel says it's exciting already. All right. It's exciting. Yeah, Robert says, I have a question. So you can unmute yourself. I don't know why you guys are not able to. You should be able to unmute yourself. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Let me ask you to unmute. You should be able to unmute yourself. I should take questions. Yeah, go ahead. We have some few minutes left.
Yes. Thank you so much for this training. Day one is very interesting. I just want to know, is there any soft copies or hard copy we are going to have, like in our email or something to refer to, or just listening to, looking at the YouTube and taking notes?
Right. So the idea. Any more questions, guys? Let me take all the question in one tranche.
Yes, this Robert Nketia.
Okay.
I have my question is looking at the scope of things we will be looking at, especially with the SDLC. You mentioned waterfall model and the agile, but recently I know most corporations are looking at the DevOps approach. So I was just wondering if that would be part of what we may be looking at.
Yes, so that's a good question as well. I'll touch on that. We might look at some CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development, DevOps. We'll touch on it lightly. Like I said, this is not all the topics that we're going to be treating. It's not exhaustive, but yes, we'll touch on that as well. Yeah. Any more question? Or I should go ahead and give this question. Okay, all right. So the idea here, somebody, I don't know how he got out from the chat and he's coming back again. Okay, all right. So the idea here is that I want you guys to take notes, right? I'm not going to be pampering everybody here with slides and notes. The idea is I want you to be able to take note as much as possible as I run through this, right? You can also go back to the YouTube video and then watch as much as you want. You can stay on, sleep on it, do whatever, eat, watch over again, take note. So the idea is for you to be able to internalize something in you. And the only way for you to do that is you have to start writing. Once you start writing, it's going to get into you, right? So that is the idea. So take note, like I said in the beginning, I don't know what time you joined, but in the beginning I said this, that housekeeping note, take notes as much as possible, right? Take notes as much as possible. All right. Emmanuel is saying, are we going to be able to divide it into groups with respect to? No. We're going to take, everybody's going to have a fair share of chance in each domain that we're going to be talking about or we're going to be working on, right? We might not look at all these domains, but we're going to try our best, right? We're going to try our best. Someone's saying, can we have a YouTube? Yes. After this session is done, I'm going to share, so you guys will have access to the YouTube link and then the channel where all these videos are, as well. All right, we still have 2 minutes left. Question. Let me clarify. Day one, we're going to be day one. Question, queries. Okay, so if there are no more questions, Francis, are you still on? Okay, Francis, you're still on. Okay, all right. I'm checking the list over here, participant list. Yeah, okay. All right. So if you have an application in mind that we're going to be looking at, can we go ahead and read about them? So essentially, some of the website that I've just talked about, eBay, insurance companies, and all this, you can start, poking around them, right? Try to look around them, see all the functionalities that they have on these platforms, how they serve their customers. We're going to be talking about some of these things, extensively. But hey, if you want to get ahead, go ahead and start exploring some of these platforms and see what you can find. Begin to start listing some features, functionalities, and then we'll start, getting into them. All right, guys, it's already 8 o'clock. I got to run. I got to go. So thank you, guys. Day one is already exciting already. Tomorrow, same time, don't be late. You guys already know the rules of this game, right? So don't be late. All right.